All right, back to CPCTC, two-column proofs. But first, what does CPCTC stand for? I just told you, I'll tell you again. The C stands for corresponding. P stands for, I don't know how I'm organizing this, parts of. This C stands for congruent. Corresponding parts of congruent. T stands for triangles are. And then this last thing, this last C stands for congruent. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. All right. Don't forget what that stands for. CPCTC. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. All right, so let's just dive in. More two-column proofs. And in fact, this video will be the last, not the last, but once we're done with this video, and especially this test, we're like 99% done with proofs for the year. All right, the rest of the units might have a little proofs here and there, but not too much. All right. S-A. M-A-A-R. So let's write this out. All right. So we have these congruent sides. What else? Vertical angles. Angle Sam is congruent to angle tar. Vertical angles. So cool. I have a side, an included angle, a side. So these triangles must be congruent as well by SAS. Okay, what do I do from here? I'm kind of stuck. I don't know what to do. I said triangles are congruent. Well, let's see what my punchline is. This proof is telling me to say SM is congruent to RT. Well, how do I know that these two sides are congruent? Well, they're corresponding parts of congruent triangles, so they are congruent. CPCTC. That's it. Nice. All right, next one. This one's actually a little bit tough. All right, this is a tough one right here. Given that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, we got to prove that triangle has is congruent to triangle HKS. But hint, we first must prove that triangle HAW is congruent to triangle HKW. All right, so this seems like a daunting task. I'm a little bit scared. I'm shaking in my boots. I'm starting to hyperventilate. Let's just start writing things down and see what happens. This angle is congruent to that angle. That angle is congruent to, let me try to actually condense this a little bit. I have a feeling that this is going to be a lot of writing. Given. All right, so bloop, bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. All right, now let's read something. It gave us a hint. We first must prove that triangle HAW, kind of sounds like a hillbilly, HAW, and that, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Okay, we first must prove that these triangles are congruent. Okay, well, just focusing on this orange triangle and this pink triangle, well, I can say, well, HW is congruent to HW. They have this entire shared side right here. All right, that's congruent by reflexive. So in fact, I can say that these triangles are congruent now. How? An angle, a side, an angle. All right, so the triangle. So I've done the hint. That's my hint. But it wants me to prove that triangle HAS is congruent to triangle HKS. So now I need to focus on, let me pick a different color. HAS, this green one, and this brown one. All right, these smaller ones. Well, let's continue to focus on the orange and pink. Let's continue to focus on the orange and pink. Why? Looking at the orange triangle and the pink triangle, well, I know that these two sides are congruent. All right, why do I know HA is congruent to HK? Well, with the orange and pink triangle, they're corresponding parts of congruent triangles, so they're congruent, CPCTC. Well, that helped out a lot. Why? Because now I can focus on these two smaller triangles, the ones I need to focus on all along. They also have HS is a shared side. So again, I can say HS is congruent to HS by reflexive property. Now focusing on these little triangles, I have a side, an angle, a side, an included angle, so the A will be between the S's. Side, angle, side. All right, now this is a really good one. Why? We're going to talk about this in the next video, but the difference between when do I end my proof on side angle side or angle side angle, when am I ending my proof with this or this? All right, how do I know which one's my last reason? We're going to talk about in the next video, but maybe you can kind of already see the difference. All right, and then this last one right here, and then on an easy note, we'll be a little bit lazy. Bloop. Given. All right, so it gave me all the angles and sides that I need, so now I can say that triangle STU is congruent to triangle. Well, what's congruent? What corresponds to S? X. T corresponds to W, and U corresponds to V. All right, Y, we have an angle, a side, an angle, angle, side, angle. And then I need to prove this. I have enough information. CPCTC. All right, so that's it for this video. We're going to talk about more things in the next video, differentiate between CPCTC and all the other